Hi loves, hope you're all doing well. I'm pre-recording this week's episode because when it comes out, I'm hoping to be in Dubai. So remember I said on, I think it was like 2 episodes ago, I was like, I'm really hoping to be away again in a couple of weeks. Well, it's been finalised. I'm going in 2 days and I haven't even booked my flights yet. So it's very last minute. I've only just come back from holidays. So I kind of feel like there's no need for it, obviously, but also, how am I going to say no to that? I literally just have to book a flight and go. So yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, there's no need for it, but I'm kind of just like, do you know what? Bit of joy, bit of sun, please, because what's this grey skies? I reposted on my TikTok the other day a video. Have you seen? I'm not even going to do it, actually. I'm going to get it up for you. I'll put the video on the YouTube. I don't know where he's from. I think he's from like a roller coaster or something, but I'm obsessed with this sound. Okay, let's go. And it says, hyping myself up to start another day with a grey sky. Okay, let's go. Cracks me up. So yeah, I just thought, you know, what's a bit of sun going to do? Is it going to do any harm? No. So I can't say no. So that's what I'm doing. I do feel like when you get older, you just get a little bit more sensible, don't you, when you start to overthink stuff. Like when I was younger, I was away all the time. On more funds, I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know how I used to do it, but I used to be away all the time. And I love it because I never used to think about consequences to anything. I remember being in Cannes, right? I went with my old work. I used to work, I've probably mentioned before, I used to work as a PA for this film producer. And he took us to Cannes Film Festival, yeah? So super fun. And when we were out, we met these guys. And this guy was kind of like, he kind of worked. I actually have no idea what he does. Like now I look back, I'm like, obviously he wasn't 100% because I have no idea what his job was. But he was kind of like a promoter, I suppose, like securing tables, but only for this one guy. So anyway, I think we met him on the first night in a club. And we got on really well with them. They were on Wyclef John's table. Oh, I didn't know. The whole time I was there next to him, I didn't know it was Wyclef John until he got up on the stage and started singing. And I was like, I've been next to Wyclef John all night. I had no idea. Anyway, so with them, and then they had parties. We basically were with them all weekend. Like super fun group of guys. There was a mix of girls. All well and good, and then literally they were all from Stockholm, so they were like, you have to come to Stockholm. So literally I think like 2 weeks after we got back from Cannes, me, the girl that I used to work with, and then I invited my friend as well, we were like, oh yeah, we'll just book, we'll go and stay with this guy. And then you just like don't think anything through. Like I just would never do that now. Or would I? I don't know. I didn't think so. I definitely wouldn't have stayed in the guy's place, definitely not. But you're young and we were not thinking anything through, and we were like, wherever, it's just cheap, we'll just book a flight to Stockholm. And because we had such good like service from him in Cannes, like everything was proper. Like the house party took us to, we went to this house, it was absolutely stunning, like huge pool, really good group of people. So we kind of just thought it would be like that. Oh my god, it was not like that at all. Rock up in Stockholm and realised quickly that this promoter guy was like completely erratic. I don't know how we didn't notice it in Cannes or if he just changed in a couple of weeks, but he was absolutely insane, and he kept wanting to film everything and take pictures, and he was just so intense. So he was quite hard work, and that's whose house we were staying in. But still, we went out, like we had a good time. And then we're in bed, right? So the 3 of us, me and my 2 friends, shared a bed in the spare room. And not in the middle of the night, but like bedtime comes on the last night, right? And this promoter guy, I'm in the middle, okay, just have to give you this vision. I'm in the middle, my 2 friends are on the outer sides, yeah? This promoter guy comes in, crawls into bed in the middle next to me, and starts to spoon me. I was like, what are you doing? Get up, get out. The girls were like, what the fuck? Outraged by him. Anyway, long story short, the guy went into a mental institute not long after. His mutual friend messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, I'm really sorry, like, hope you're okay. Just want to let you know that I'm not going to name him, but yeah, he's gone away. He's gone to a mental health institute, hoping it's going to do him good. he's basically just like gone off the rails. Absolutely crazy. So even though that was a bad story, that's kind of the mentality I wanted to bring back for booking this last minute holiday. I was like, when I was younger, I would do that in a drop of a hat. I never used to overthink anything. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's my justification for going away in 2 days with no flights booked. Anyway, let's go into this week's story. Okay, I wanted to share this story because I think it's romantic and uplifting. I had a best friend from when I was maybe 14 to 20 years old. We were together every day for many of those years. When I first met him, I fell in love with him. He didn't feel the same, however, our friendship continued. Oh, God. No, I'm sorry. I can't deal with that. Imagine, because then she's friends with him and she's in love with him. No, that's pain. That's setting yourself up for heartache. Until when I was about 24, we were still friends but rarely hung out. Okay, that makes sense. I got drunk and destroyed his dad's car and a fence when he gave me his keys to go to his and his dad's house. Instead, I tried to take the car to go to a party. I didn't even have a driver's license, and I'm happy I never got around to that because I probably would have killed someone. I lied to my friend and tried to blame someone else. It was a dark period of my life and I did a lot of bad things. She's put in brackets. It's okay, hun. It's a safe zone. You're safe. There's no judgment. We've all been there. I mean, not in a car for me, but, everyone's been through bad times. We're all right. At least you didn't hurt anyone. It blew up in my face deservedly and I lost my dear friend. Okay, so sorry, I feel like I've been interrupting. So she's friends with this guy, 14 to 20. Then they stopped hanging out as much, but she saw him when she was 24 and she crashed his father's car, which is obviously awful. Over the years, I've tried reaching out to him and ultimately I admitted that I lied and offered to pay for the damages, but that was too little or too late. I loved my friends and all of the friends I'd lost because of bad behaviour, but this one was always the one that stung the most. 4 days ago, I was on Facebook. I'm never on there, but I got a message from my friend. He wanted to talk and he told me he had forgiven me. I couldn't believe it and I've been so happy ever since. Our chat soon became flirty and yesterday I saw him for the first time in 14 years. Oh my God. We hugged for a long time, held each other's hand and cuddled on a bench outside. We ended up kissing. It was the most amazing kiss I've ever had, fireworks going off and everything. Now we're madly in love. I never thought I'd be in a relationship again, or maybe even feel the sensation of being in love, and it's all very overwhelming. Why am I crying? No, seriously, why am I crying at this? Is this even that lovely and upsetting? I feel like we've had much deeper ones on this, but for some reason it's making me cry. I never thought I'd be in a relationship again, or maybe even feel a sensation of being in love. It's all very overwhelming, especially because it's him. I find it really romantic and almost poetic that we ended up back together. Guys, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's wrong with me. I was thinking I was a little bit emotional earlier. We're already talking about having a child together. We both have one each from previous relationships, and I had completely given up on the idea of having that type of family with a mother, dad, and kids. I was alone with my daughter, and I've come to enjoy that a lot. Guys, I don't know why this is making me cry. I told myself I didn't need romantic love, but I knew deep down that I did. I'm over the moon. I love this man so much, and the pace can only be explained by us having such a tight relationship in those important years when we were young. Now we are 37 and 38. Never give up, or maybe do. Sometimes it's when you stop looking that amazing things can happen. Oh my word. It's very weird that that's made me so upset. And I have literally no idea why. I think it's because if you lose a person, like she's lost her friend, and, she said like she was going through a really hard time in her life and losing her friend, not just him, but her, all her friends, and she must have felt so low. And I think it shows that when you have a strong connection with someone, obviously it depends on the circumstances, but I do feel like if that connection is really strong and it's meant to be then it never dies. So like she said, almost instantly the conversation's gone flirty, and you know, they're together and they've never been happier. And I just think that's such a testament to true love, which I think that's why it's making me so emotional, because obviously I just love a love story, and I think that's so nice. Although can't believe she spent 6 years being friends with a guy, knowing that he didn't love her back. I really don't know if I could do that myself. I really, really don't. That is unconditional love, because that is loving somebody in a different way and not getting that love back, but still accepting it and loving them so much that you still want them in your life. Oh my God, the layers of love in that story makes me feel better actually for getting emotional at it, because that is really deep, because you've, oh God, she probably, I mean, they were only young, so they weren't friends when they each had a child with somebody else, which I think would be really hard to deal with if you're friends with somebody and they go off and have a child, or if they go off and get married or something, and that obviously kind of feels like a done deal. Like, I was thinking this the other day about how crazy it is that Maya Jama and Stormzy are back together, but she fully got engaged to someone else. Like, when he saw that, he must have been like, shit, this is end game. Or did he always know deep down that they were going to end up together? But like, she didn't, and that's what she said, never give up. But then she said, oh, maybe do, because she actually did give up hope with her friend, and she wasn't thinking about him. And then that's kind of when he came. But I wonder what was going through his mind, because I imagine he was probably just young at the time, obviously, so that's fair enough. But like, why, it's so random they would like randomly think about it on that time. But it is proof, and I don't care if people think it's like flouncy or whatever, but I do think that, timing is everything, and things do happen when they're supposed to. Even though, same as what I said last week, you've missed out on 14 years there, mate. You could have met and had an extra 14 years together. However, maybe it wouldn't have worked out then, because the timing has got to be right. And 37 and 38 is still really young. Like, it's still enough time to do everything that you want in life together. So that's amazing. Like, there's plenty of people that are that age and older that are still single, or, just gone through a breakup or whatever. So it's still young, and what a happy story. I love that. I'm very sorry for crying. Hopefully that was still understood. I am just an emotional person, to be fair. I'm surprised I don't cry more often on the podcast, because I do cry quite easily at things. Although I have got better. I've actually got better with age now. Like, I would say when I was younger, I was a lot worse. I would cry very easily, like at anything. I'd see somebody, in pain, or I'd see somebody homeless. I'd watch the news. I would cry. Like, it was too much. So I've managed to curb it now, but yeah, that one got me. Sorry, guys. If you've got any stories, as always, please send them over to sadie@love.luck.com. Yeah, I really need them. Or if you've got any topics that you want me to talk about and stuff, then please let me know. I did actually see that somebody commented the other day saying they want more conversations with me and the girls from back home, somebody on Spotify. So I am going to try and make that happen. I can't make any promises, because obviously it depends on everyone's schedule. But next time I go home, I'm due to go home for Easter. So hopefully I can get an episode in then, if not the next time I go home. But yeah, that's definitely on my radar. Thank you. I can't reply to comments on Spotify. It's really annoying. So if I've published it, just know that I've seen it, because I have to like okay it to publish. But yeah, I can't respond, sorry. Anyway, I haven't told you, I was thinking about this earlier. I went to San Diego 2 weeks ago now. So when I booked my flight, my friend was actually going to be at a wedding the night I arrived, and I was like, that's fine. She got a key cut for me. She left the key for me. I was like, that's fine. Do that so that I can have a night I arrive. I chill out by myself, because obviously it's a really long flight, and the jet lag. I was like, I'll have a nice early night, get on San Diego time, and then when I wake up Sunday, that'll be like the start of my holiday, and we can be together, blah, blah, blah. I arrive, I get the key, I go in. I unpack, whatever, sort myself out. I was like, right, I'm going to go and take myself for dinner, otherwise I'll fall asleep. And then I can come back, it'll be about 9-10 o'clock. Actually, I edited a podcast episode, that's what I did when I was at dinner. I was like, and then I'll come back 10 o'clock, sleep, bam, jet lag, gone, done. So I leave to go and get myself a burger, right? I lock the door, put the key in my bag, get a taxi, head to the place. I'm at the burger place for maybe an hour and a half, I would say, something like that. Call a taxi back. I get a taxi back to my friend's apartment, get to the front door. Is the key in my bag? No. I'd had this key in my possession for roughly 90 minutes and I had lost it. I had no idea where it was. My phone, even when I was off airplane mode, wouldn't accept calls. So I couldn't call the Uber driver or do any of that stuff. I had to go through the chat on Uber to try and find the key. I was like, it's got to be in an Uber. I couldn't ring the burger place because my phone wouldn't work. So I messaged my friend, obviously, straight away. But she's at a wedding and she is like not somebody that's on her phone all the time. She's like a good fun time gal. She doesn't take pictures. So I know already it's like 9:30 and I know already she's not answering her phone for a little bit. I'm ringing her, I'm texting her, sending all these messages. An hour and a half passes. I'm outside my friend's door. Low-key, I'm not stressing, but I'm like low-key thinking, right, okay, it's 11 p.m. now. Time is ticking. The first Uber driver's got back and said that he couldn't find the key, and I'm still waiting to hear back from the second one, which is bullshit, by the way, because it must have been in the Uber, but it was like a singular key, and literally as I saw it, I held it, and I was like, I'm gonna lose this key. Like, I can't be trusted with this key. I lost about 4 over lockdown in my parents. It's just not good for me to be in possession of something like that. Anyway, an hour and a half later, my friend finally answers the phone. She's drunk. She's like, oh, it's fine. What? Like, doesn't understand any severity. Anyway, eventually I get some sense into her and she pays for a courier cab. You can book an Uber now as a courier to go from her wedding to drop the key, her key off to me, yeah? She's 20 minutes away. At this point, forgot to say my battery's low. So I'm on 2% battery now as I'm messaging her. Obviously, really stressed. I haven't got my charger, nothing with me, my battery's going. Which is classic me, by the way. My battery goes all the time. It's really, really bad. I completely forgot about that part of the story and it's probably the most important part. So my battery's gone. I'm getting so stressed at this point. And then she finally answers. I'm like, wow, this is it. This is it. She's coming through for me. So my last message, I've got 1% battery left. And I message her and say, my battery's going to go, but I'm going to be where the Uber is. Tell him to keep an eye out for me. Get the key, wherever. I go back down to the main road. And obviously my phone's gone now, my battery's gone. So I've got no concept of time. I've got no watch on. I don't know any concept of time, but I kind of mapped out that she was 20 minutes away. And I'm standing around thinking, this seems longer than 20 minutes. I don't know how much time has passed, but it seems longer than 20 minutes. I'm thinking, right, okay, if people are coming out to walk their dogs, I'm thinking it's got to be getting late now. This is the dog bedtime walk. Alarm bells really started to ring when somebody came out and brought their dog out for their second walk of the night. I was like, oh shit, this is bad. I was like, this dog is on his second walk. First time she came out, her hair was in a towel. Second time she came out, her hair was dry. I was like, I don't know how long I've been here. I don't know where I am. I don't know where my friend is because I never took the address off her because I never booked the Uber because I didn't want my battery to go before the Uber came. I just had no concept of time, where I was, where she was, no battery. I literally couldn't do anything other than stand and sit on the street and wait. I think maybe, I can't remember what the time was, maybe another hour and a half after that. Or, yeah, I think it was another hour and a half. I'm like, something has gone wrong. And then I suddenly remember my friend's got a Ring doorbell. And I'm like, I'll ring the doorbell and I can communicate with her. Why I didn't think about that earlier, I have no idea. I have no idea because that would have saved me so much time. But I'm not used to Ring doorbells. I think they're a very American thing, aren't they? I don't know. I think so. So it didn't occur to me until after. And then as I'm going back up the stairs, I go up and there's a massive bouquet of flowers on the doormat that had appeared. And I was like, what is this? Very bizarre. I go back down to the road. I'm like, somebody's being you. And then I go back up. I ring the doorbell. No answer. I'm like, right, okay, classic. So anyway, I go back down. This is like whatever. I'm wandering back and forth. And then as I look, almost like a mirage, my friend was there and I was calling her like, Meal? Amelia. And I almost couldn't believe it was her, because I was also like, I'd been awake at this point for about 22 hours. So I was really getting delirious and I was low-key hallucinating. I was like, I'm dropping off to sleep here, and is she real or not? And I watched her walk up to the whole flat and I ran up and I was like, Amelia. And I ran in. She was like, oh my God, I thought you were dead. I was like, where have you been? She was like, the Uber has come, couldn't find you, it's gone back. I was like, what do you mean? I've been stood there this whole time. I've been waiting. I was stood on the wrong road. So there's one road here and there's another road opposite. And had I had the number plate, if my battery had gone, I probably would have seen that the Uber driver probably had to drive past me to go to the apartment. I was on the wrong side of the road and I had been outside, I think, for a total of 4 hours on my arrival in San Diego. Is that not like the biggest disaster story ever? No wonder I had jet lag the whole time, because after that my sleep was just ruined. It took me an hour to even wind down because I was so wired up. Oh my God, it was a nightmare. So yeah, hopefully, even though this trip is far more last minute, hopefully none of that here. I mean, Dubai is a safe space, isn't it? Like, I absolutely love Dubai and I feel like I know my way around there and like nothing can go wrong there. Touch wood, touch wood. Do you know what I was thinking this week as well about, do you think or act with your brain or your heart? You know, like last week I was saying that I really listen to my gut, and my friend said before that she thinks that I act on my heart and I'm like quite impulsive with things. I'm going to put this on Instagram because I would really love to know, what do you guys do? Like, do you act with your heart or your head? And I was looking into it and thinking, what's better? Because even like now with Dubai, I'm like, my head is thinking maybe you probably shouldn't go, but obviously my heart's like, yeah, I'll just go. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm literally just going on holiday. But I did Google it and I did some research, and it says, research has shown that decisions are made through a combination of both cognition and emotion, but science aside, most people tend to think one is better than the other. Listening to your head may lead to more tangible success, but not following your heart increases the risk of regret. And as I read that, I was like, I'm definitely a heart follower because I'd rather just not have the regret. To me, there's no many worse feelings than regret. This is why I think you should always say your piece, which is hard because I'm also like, keep your dignity, or, you know, you've got to find the balance, obviously. But I do think, like, this is the thing, like, with those stories where 14 years pass, or the story we had last week or the week before last, sorry, where they spent 3 years apart, that couple, and they obviously wanted each other, but nobody said anything. I think in times like that, like, the regret, imagine, right, not telling somebody, like, how you feel about them, and then them going off and getting married to somebody else or getting with somebody else. Like, for me, I would rather say, I think, and then at least you know. I think this is like very new feelings for me. But I do remember when I was very young, right? I had a best friend in school. This is literally like primary school, junior school. I had a best friend and she had to move away. And the circumstance was like quite strange, where she had to move away and she wasn't allowed to keep in touch with anybody. And I always remember having the regret of not giving her my number or not telling her like how much I was going to miss her, because I was so upset when she went. And I lived with that regret like up until I was an adult. I was like, wow, I really regret that. And thankfully she found me on Instagram like years later and we had a little reconnect. And to be fair, I never met up with her because we were friends in primary school. Like, you know, I don't know if we would be still, I doubt we would be friends now. But yeah, I definitely had that regret for a lot of my life. And I just think there's no worse feeling than regrets. And it is very rare you say you regret doing something. Very rare. I mean, I do have stuff that I regret for sure. But I don't really say that because I always think that by doing it, it's produced an outcome that I'm grateful for now. Or like, if I didn't do that, yeah, I might have felt better, but this wouldn't have happened. Like, if I didn't I think there's like a lesson in everything in this. So if I didn't act stupid, even or did something really bad, then I wouldn't be in this position now, which is better. So I always think like stuff happens for a reason. And I always think it's better to live with no regrets, for sure. Very random little part of this episode, but it's just what I've been thinking about. Basically, everything is revolving around me booking this last minute holiday to Dubai. But I really do need, because I got back from holiday 2 weeks ago, but allow it, guys. That's where I'm going to be hopefully when this comes out, and yeah, hope everything works out for me. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm sorry this is a really short episode. Please, as I said, make sure you send your stories to me, or stories of friends, or if you see something nice online, then please forward it to me, because clearly they make me very emotional and I really like them. So yeah, if you see anything that you think I might enjoy, then forward it to me. I know some of you guys do and I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. As always, I'm asking for your help, guys. I feel like I'm asking for your help a lot. But if there's anything you want me to talk about next week, because obviously if you give me a topic, then I can put it on my Instagram and stuff and ask for other people's stories and opinions. So yeah, it works quite well, I feel like. So yeah, if you've got a topic or anything, then just send me a message. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you next week.